What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Man, I can't tell you the last time I made an episode, but I've just been focusing my energy on other hobbies. Through the years being a Gemini, I've learned that I can't try to do too much at once. That just leads to scattered energy, right? So, astrology being one of my hobbies, I decided I had to take a little back seat to it, but I got time, so I'll make this video. And this video is from my girl Patrice. She had a question about trines or trends, whatever. What is a grand trine or trend? And basically, right, trine is an aspect. And aspects show how the planets are interacting with each other. And this is usually determined by the degrees. Okay? So trines form 120 degrees. With some angle, 120 degree angle. Right? Now, for the grand trine, you add, it doesn't even have to be another planet. Most likely it is. It could even be like your midheaven or, something like that, a part of the trine. It could be two planets in the midheaven making a trine, but like when you draw it out, it looks like an equilateral triangle. Okay? Now, what this means, okay, and if you know anything about aspects and trines and stuff, trines are good. Trines are lucky and they provide whatever. You got to know. This is why you have to know signs, the sign well, and the planets well, to know how the sign is expressing itself in how the planet is expressing itself in the sign, right? And then the planets trining, you see how they come together. So, for instance, a Mercury and Venus trine is great for creativity, depending on the sign. It will just give you some type of creative talent. All right, depending on what signs Mercury or Venus in, but it's great for creativity and it's great for communication. These are people who, are charmers. They know how to get their way with people, right? So we want to first check out what planets are involved in the trine, right? So the grand trine, we know that a regular trine is the two planets 120 degree angles, and then the grand trine is when you enter another planet or another point, right? So it's like looking at the planets involved, right? But most importantly, what element? So knowing anything about the elements, we know that air is all about ideas, thinking, communication, right? We know fire is about passion, um, action, right? Ambition. Water about receptivity, emotional emotional things, fear, empathy, compassion. And then earth, practicality, being grounded, responsible. Okay? So how the planets express themselves are really going to be based on the element that this grand trine is happening in. Off my head, Whitney Houston had, right? Okay, perfect. Whitney Houston has a grand trine in fire. So, and I don't remember the planets involved, but more than likely it's probably Mercury and probably some Venus. But at its highest level, it's super talent. You see how she had that. She wasn't just any singer. She was an amazing singer. Everybody felt the vibrations coming from her voice, right? Damn, I should have did a little research. It's other people, very prominent people, have grand trines, and at this highest level, it expresses itself explosively. It's like you can't help but notice it. But on the flip side, keep this in mind. You know how when you're good at something, you don't really take too much pride in it. I don't want to say too much pride, but you're modest. You have a modest attitude towards things that tend to come naturally towards you. So the people with grand trines, they have certain gifts, but they don't necessarily apply those gifts. It can make them kind of lazy, especially like a person in with a grand trine in water. They could know that, wow, I know how to make people care for me. Like people, people really look out for me and stuff like that. That may lead the person to be a little lazy in life, a little not as assertive. Okay, wait for people to give them things. So just like anything, there's good and there's bad. But my advice is that, like, say your kid has this in their chart, you knowing what you know, and wait, that's why I said you have to know the planets involved and see first how they're working through the person, okay? And then, like I said, if it's your kid, you gently push them in certain directions. Like I said, a grand trend in air is phenomenal for an actor, a TV show host, someone out there dealing with media. Excellent for it. It's like it just gives you this command, whether writing or speaking, right? Very innovative. So understand the elements, the planets, and how they're working through the person, and then you can figure out how to encourage them or point them in the right direction. All right. So this was my episode. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. I really don't know when I'm gonna really get back on my thing, but those of you who have a question or whatever, feel free to reach out to me, email me. I will definitely get back to you. Until next time, peace.